This is gonna be quick. I'm trying to play Far Cry. I'm trying to play video games. And this is video game related. But I just saw this and I love the internet so much. I love when something gets out of control so fast. And that's kind of a point that I wanted to make right now. When something happens, it doesn't matter how people try to put out the fire is gonna spread. It's gonna spread very, very fast and very, very wide, which is what happened. And it's Steam related, so I mean, I'm on Steam right now. I'm trying to play Far Cry 4, and I saw this whole meltdown with Sweet Baby Inc. For those of you who don't know, there's this company that does all sorts of progressive or woke or whatever you want to call it kind of things in the background of most of these games, mostly writing but also development. Basically, they're one of the background companies that has their hand in the development process. So if you ever wonder why games nowadays come out so horrifically like inconsistent, it's because there's like 13 different cooks on one project. And if I sound annoyed while I say that, it's because I am. Because like for someone who kind of knows how the development process for most games go, my problem with current gaming is that there's too many freaking people making one game. And they don't understand why games keep failing. It's because you have 14 fucking people on one game. But I digress. That's not the point of what's happening right now. So this curated Steam list that compiles all the Sweet Baby games. All the games that they're involved with in terms of like I don't know if they're devolved. I don't know if they're involved directly, but they have some hand in it. Whether it be writing the game or developing the game, they have their hand in it. And what the Steam group is doing with this curator, what it does is that it curates all these games. And for most of us, it's kind of like an avoid list. Of course, you can just as easily go on the website and find most of these games that they work on. But some of these games actually aren't on their website listing from what I've seen. Maybe I looked over them, but some of these games, mostly because they're like random Steam games, random Steam indie games that most people don't even mess with because they're indie games and people don't play indie games like that, right? And I'm looking at the list, and part of me said what someone's gonna do, but I felt like part of me thinks in a logical way that's like this isn't really hurting anybody. This list isn't like here are the games, here are the people that worked on them. Go harass them, right? It's not like that. Instead, it's like here are the games that this company specifically works on. They worked on tons of indie games. Tons and tons and tons. There's a lot of indie games in this list. And people have a stigma behind this company because you can't really look at certain companies like Insomniac, for example. I kind of wanted to talk about this, but I didn't think it was that important because I haven't really messed with Insomniac lately. I played the Rift Apart and it was fine, but I didn't really play a lot of Spider-Man 2. I played a little bit of it and then I watched it to completion at my brother's house. But I digress about that. The recent thing about Insomniac where they had layoffs and it's like, is there even a company that has worked with Sweet Baby that has come out like greener on the other side? Like haven't had a ton of layoffs or just lost a lot of money with their properties that were actually sold. Like the first Spider-Man game actually sold extremely well. Even the Miles Morales game, which was a DLC to another to the base game, actually sold like kind of decently, but it didn't sell as much as the 2018 Spider-Man game. And then the second one comes out and it just didn't sell well, right? But my point was is that this company has a stigma behind it, and this Steam list, the Steam Curate page, is to basically get receipts and documents of games they worked on. And the interesting thing that I saw was that there is a specific type of game they favor, and there's a specific type of indie game And there's also a specific art style to some of these games that, as an artist personally, I can't stand for artistic purposes. It's not bad. I'm not going to say the person who drew any of the art for this is bad, but as an artist, it bothers me whenever I see this type of art. Most people probably know it from like Cal Arts, the whole cartoony Steven Universe looking overly simplistic and cutesy art style. I can't stand that. But the real kicker here is that once people found out about the list, some of the members of Sweet Baby, I don't know if it's the company in general, but I'm positive because they have it in their bios. Some of them went freaking wild over this. And they wanted this person erased from Steam and probably any other platform that they have. And it's not even like this is a big deal. This is something that people kind of already know. Like I said, their public page is it's public. It's there. You can go look at it right now and see the games that they have worked on. But it's not, again, this list isn't like some, here are these people like who've worked on this and the company or whatever, go harass them or anything like that. It's just documenting the games that they worked on specifically. Because people can't stand this company, and for good reason. They do a lot of weird things with games, a lot of writing things I can't personally stand with it. And like I said, like, you can't help but to think that they mess up development process for games, because they can come in, like their page literally says, they can come in at any point of development, any point of the cycle of development, and come in and work on a game. From someone who's, kind of worked on like games that no one has ever heard of, never heard of, because they never get off the floor. If some person comes in the middle of your project, it doesn't matter who they are. If they come in, it's going to upset the flow of the project, because this is a new person, they have to get used to everything. And not only that, like the way that they operate, Sweet Baby operates, they will literally come in and change things. So you have to go back and write things. You have to go back and develop this part of the game differently because someone there said so. This character needs to be changed. So that means, okay, time to throw it in Blender and redo the character design completely. That's a lot of work that needs to be redone, and that's going to stretch out development time. That's at least how I see how they operate, based on what I see on their own page, how I read on their own page, right? So the list itself isn't even bad, and the reaction to how people saw the list in the company, where they just wanted the person who created it erased, is completely insane. But that's to be expected with these type of people. They don't want to be challenged. And this isn't even challenging anything. This is, here's the work that you've done, and I'm curating the work that you've done to other people. It's not my fault that you have a stigma. People see things. They are playing these games, and they are noticing things that you're doing in the games that they love and the games that they even play. Not even have to love, the games that they play. And people are normal people who won't care about any of the shit that I'm talking about right now, right? Are seeing how games are being made, and are seeing the things that are in games, and are going, wait, what is happening?